What's up, addicts? Okay, so I just did a video of players in the first 5 rounds that I'm targeting, and now this video is looking at the first 5 rounds of who I would avoid based on their draft position right now. Doesn't necessarily mean that I wouldn't take these players if they fell a little bit further, but I'll kind of make my case for you real quick. So number one, now I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but Todd Gurley is going way too high. I know he finished first overall last year, and that's exactly my argument. No running back since Priest Holmes has finished as the number 1 running back in 2 consecutive years. Gurley is due for regression. That offensive line that in Los Angeles overperformed last year is going to come back down to earth. He's not going to get as many receiving touchdowns this year, and he may not even get as many rushing touchdowns. So does that mean he's not going to be number 5 or top 5 running back? Probably not. He probably will be, but is he going to be number 1? No. So there's many other players I'd rather take the upside for than try to shoot the moon and actually get something that with Gurley that hasn't happened in the past 16 years. Okay, another name right now that I just think is going just a little too high for my taste. Again, I think he could do really well this year, but Joe Mixon. So right now he's going at 211, and that puts him at the number 14 running back. I have it at number 16. So the reason why I have him on this list, though, is if I'm drafting early in the first round, I'm looking to go running back, receiver. I'm not looking to take a flyer on a running back like Mixon because the receiver value there is just so good, and I've already locked down a really good running back one in the first round, so I'm looking for a receiver there. Another name right now, I can't believe his ADP has gone back up this high, is LaShawn McCoy at 304. So news just broke that his ex-girlfriend actually filed a lawsuit this week, and if anyone remembers owning Ezekiel Elliott last year, or Josh Gordon, or any player that's gone through, Martavis Bryant, I don't see how the NFL doesn't suspend this guy. And even if there's nothing to prove it, there's nothing to prove that Ezekiel Elliott did anything wrong, he still missed 6 games. So whether or not he did anything wrong, that's not what I'm talking about here. You know, whether he's innocent or guilty is not what I'm getting at here. That's a conversation for another day. But when you're looking at drafting a running back at 304, when he has a high possibility of not even starting the season if he ends up on the commissioner's exempt list, I'm not paying that price. That is absolutely insane. He's going at running back 16 right now. I have him at 25, and that's just because the off chance that he actually plays 10 games this season, I don't know how many games he's going to play. If the NFL comes out and says they're not going to suspend him, then 304 is fine. I get McCoy is plenty talented, but he's too risky with that looming suspension based on the domestic violence issues going on around him. So I'm just steer clear from him. Right now, Travis Kelce, I think also is going too high. He is going to number 2 tight end, which is where I have it ranked, but I wouldn't take Travis Kelce at 306. There's just too much uncertainty right now with Patrick Mahomes going in there. Alex Smith fed Kelce the ball. We don't know what Mahomes is going to do. I don't trust taking a tight end in the 3rd round unless his name is Gronk. And then another one in the 3rd round, Derrick Henry at 309. I don't understand this one, guys. Deion Lewis is going to get the majority of the receptions there. If you're drafting in a PPR league, there's no reason to be drafting a player like Derrick Henry, because the only way that he's actually going to return that value for you is if Deion Lewis gets hurt. You can't predict that. You can't predict injuries. So I have him ranked 26, and he's going at running back 17. There's so many receivers and other running backs going around him. I have no idea why people are taking him at the end of the 3rd, but if someone does and you pick right after them, just laugh at them. That's all I say. Amari Cooper is the other one. I get it. He has shown that he has athletic ability, but he's gained weight, even though he was moving a little bit slower last year for most of the year, and he's been dealing with injuries because he probably already was a little bit too big. He is awful in the red zone, and it's just like they've tried year in, year out to build that rapport with Carr, but Carr always has to seem to go to someone else in the red zone. Could Cooper return value at this pick? Sure. And I think that there's definitely a decent chance of it, but am I going to risk it at the end of the 3rd round when there's players like Larry Fitzgerald, Demaryius Thomas, and other players of that caliber? No. So I don't understand why he's going above those guys. Then another one, Zach Ertz. I know I keep naming all the tight ends. I think Ertz is a great player, but with Dallas Goedert go into Philadelphia. I think it really caps his touchdown upside, and I think taking him in the 4th round is just a little too high for me. I don't like taking tight ends that early, again, unless their name is Gronk. And then Josh Gordon, obviously I made a big case for this in my video, but reports came out today that if he doesn't report to camp this week, then there's probably a high likelihood that he doesn't even play week 1, and who knows when the hell he's actually going to play. Why are you drafting him in the 4th round if you don't even know that he's going to play? I don't understand. You can take Marvin if you really want a player that is going to basically do the same thing. If Josh Gordon actually does play week 1, just take Marvin Jones in the next round. They basically have the same ceiling, and you don't have to run the risk of, oh, he might just get suspended and not play the entire year. I don't know why he's still up there, but hey, like I said, I need people to take players like that so I can get my values. Another player that I just don't understand why he's going so high. I mean, I guess I can understand it, but Deshaun Watson is going at 412 right now, which I have him ranked at number 7, and that puts him at the number 2 quarterback off the board. You just can't take a quarterback that high. And I know everyone's taken Watson because of what he did in that 4-game stretch last year, but it's unsustainable. There's no way he's going to score touchdowns at that rate. So if you're drafting him, you're drafting him at his ceiling, and he has to hit, or else you're basically losing a ton of value on that pick. So I wouldn't take him in the 4th round. And then again, I'm just picking on all the tight ends. Jimmy Graham, I am a Packers fan. I think Jimmy Graham will have 10 touchdowns this year, but if he doesn't get you a touchdown, then you're probably not going to be happy with what he does that week for you. And again, taking a tight end like that in the 5th round when there's still tons of great running backs and wide receivers that you can fill with your team, and then you could theoretically get like a Delaney Walker and Evan Ingram and Kyle Rudolph 1, 2, 3, or even 4 rounds later. I don't see why you take Jimmy Graham in the 5th round. It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, those are the guys right now based on the ADP that I'm avoiding. Obviously, this will change, so I'll probably do a few more of these videos as the ADP shifts as the preseason goes on. We get a few more injuries and depth chart updates. But anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. If you would like, you can download my PPR tiers. Click the link in the description box below, and you can download those for free. I'll be sending you guys updates all the way up to the regular season so that you guys can crush it on draft day. Anyway, hope you guys found this helpful. Peace.